Hey everyone, it's the Queen of Pentacles 1111, and I'm just here today with a quick pick a card reading. It's a message from your spirit guide to let you know your strengths and your weaknesses in love and in a relationship. If you're interested, please keep watching. Peace, family. While I shuffle the cards for our reading, here's a little disclaimer from the Queen of Pentacles 1111 herself. And that disclaimer goes out to all you negative Nellies out there who love to spread hate and who love to spread confusion down in the comment section. Now's your time to make your exit. Because I don't play that. I am too loyal and I am too protective of my group of like-minded souls who choose to tune in with me on this day. I am very appreciative of them, and I consider this our safe haven. So from the Queen of Pentacles 1111 to you, don't waste your time. But for my real ones, you know who you are out there, and you know I've got your back. So come through, come vibe with me, and let's lift this veil together. I'll see you on the other side. For those of you who are new to Tarot Pick-a-Card readings, here are a few pointers for you when choosing your piles. It's best to close your eyes, try and clear your mind, take a deep breath, open your eyes, and let your intuition be your guide. Choose whatever pile resonates with you, and the timestamps will be in the description box below. We'll see you for your reading. Candle. All right, so pile 1. Black candle. So when I do my spell work and my incantations, I use a black candle for protection. Certain times, you get that feeling that you need that little extra bit of protection because some shady business is going on around you, or maybe you're around some negative people and you need to kind of cleanse yourself or protect yourself. Sometimes if I'm going to hang out with people that I know I'm not too comfortable with and I have no choice but to be around them, I'll say a spell before I go, or an incantation before I go, and I'll burn the black candle just to give me that extra boost of protection. Also, these stones here that I have, these are black tourmaline, and those are also great for protection as well, against psychic attack and emotional attack. I'm empathic, so I need as much protection from others and their negative energy as possible. So if you feel the same way, it's always good to have one of these stones by your bedside or in your purse. It's always good to burn a black candle and say a little prayer or something to give you kind of that extra little bit of protection, even on your day-to-day goings on. Okay, so let's get started. This message that I wanted to give today is just about your strengths and weaknesses in love and in a relationship, or even if you're not in a relationship, when you plan on getting into a relationship, it's good to know these things going in. So maybe you can kind of tweak your behavior and be aware of your actions before you do them. So I wanted to do things a little differently this time. I don't want to hold you too long, so we'll speed this up a bit. This black tarot card here is going to be your improvement, where you can improve on in a relationship. And the rest will be your strengths in a relationship. On this channel, I like to concentrate on the positive, so we only have one tarot card that talks about a negative, and the rest will all be there to big you up. All right? So let's start with the tarot cards, like I usually do. If I could get them. All right, this is the tarot card. No. All right, so we've got the Knight of Wands. Can you see that? It's a nice looking Knight of Wands. We got the Three of Cups. And on this card it says, I embrace joyful opportunities. And we've also got the World card. Ooh, the World card. It says, I celebrate life and I welcome new energy. All right, so already what I can see, judging by the tarot cards, is that you are full of fire and you're full of energy and you're full of passion and all those wonderful things that everybody wants to have in a relationship. You go full steam ahead. If you're in love with someone, you are in love with them. You don't try and like water it down or hide it. You're just who you are. And if you like them, you like them. And if you don't, you don't. But if you like them, you don't play games. You're straightforward. You know, wear your heart on your sleeve. There's no doubt about the fact that you are interested in this person and you care for this person. You seem to be happy-go-lucky in a relationship once you're in love, that you're happy, you're content, and you don't care who knows it. You actually want the world to know it. If you feel like you're content and you're stable and you're comfortable in a relationship, you want everybody to know. This card here that says you embrace joyful opportunities, and the world card that says I celebrate life and welcome new energy. That shows that you are open to so much. When you care about somebody, you'll go all out and you'll consider every option or possibility out there to kind of make them happy as well, which is a wonderful thing. If you feel happy and if you feel secure first. You know, you can be super duper passionate, sometimes a little bit intense, but once you finally hone it in and you get into a groove with that person, you are wonderful in a relationship. Wonderful. There's no doubt about the fact that you love and care about this person. There's no hiding it. You don't have time for that. All right, so now we're going to pick up this card, and this is going to talk about what you can improve in a relationship or before you get into a relationship. All right, okay, so this is the Six of Pentacles. Can you see that? It's holographic. All right, so the Six of Pentacles usually speaks about giving and receiving, which makes complete sense because in a relationship, you are confident, you are happy, you are, you know, you have your heart on your sleeve, you're full of joy if you feel secure. And it has a lot to do with if you feel secure. If you don't feel secure, this Knight of Wands can turn into your worst nightmare. You can feel, you can turn very vindictive with that same heat, with that same fire, with that same passion. You can turn just as spiteful. You know, as much as you can love someone when you're feeling comforted and supported and safe with them, is the same way it can turn. So I think the Six of Pentacles is probably telling you to compromise a little bit in a relationship and be a little bit more flexible. You don't need to turn on them as fiercely as you do if you feel you're slighted. You need to not just embrace joyful opportunities, because this card, this Six of Pentacles, makes me think of balance. You not only need to embrace joyful opportunities when you're in a relationship, it doesn't always have to go perfectly. You can also embrace negative situations, more tough conversations that you have to have, because that's the real deal, right? When you're in a relationship, it's not just all roses and sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes you have difficult things that you have to deal with, difficult conversations, situations that are awkward or make you feel uneasy. I mean, who doesn't know that you're dealing with another individual, right? So it's not always going to be perfect. So while you wear your heart on your sleeve and everything is great, you know, the darker side of the situation is that once they offend you or upset you one time, then everything is out of whack. The balance is totally thrown off, and this turns into a monster. Because as you can see, like the Knight of Wands, even though it looks like this person is so passionate and ready to go and full of fire and, you know, focused on his or her direction, you can also see the face looks a little scary. Like they have fangs and the, you know, the wings are kind of like full of fire and there's holes in them. So in some ways you can see the beauty of this card, that this person is like full throttle speeding ahead to whatever goal they have in mind. But also you can see that there is a negative side to this card as well. It can be seen in a positive way, but it can also be seen in a very ugly, scary, fiery kind of destructive way. So this Six of Pentacles, the card of what I see is like a balance for this reading. I understand, believe me, I know all of the meanings for the tarot cards, but I like to be led by my intuition. And for this reading, this Six of Pentacles tells me that you need to have a little bit more balance in within yourself in a relationship, and understand that not just because things are not going your way and you're not always feeling 100% happy and happy-go-lucky means that the whole relationship is a write-off. It doesn't mean that. This is when it comes time that you can communicate a little bit more and open up a little bit more and show your vulnerability, because here, your vulnerable side, should I say, because here, this person looks like they don't have any vulnerable sides. They know what they want and they're headed towards that. But that's not exactly balance, is it? Because we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. We all have areas in our lives where we feel very confident and up and at 'em, and then we have other sides in our lives where we feel kind of like we want to hide and we're insecure and we have certain inhibitions. This is what they're trying to tell you, is that in this relationship, you need to embrace the balance, the yin and the yang, the positive and the negative, the light and the dark. It's like duality. You're dealing with somebody else, so there's going to be miscommunications. They have their way of doing things. You have your way of doing things. And it's like the blending of two people, right? Two whole lives. Remember, this person had a life, a full life, way before they met you. So they had habits and situations, experiences, prior loves, all these things to you. They led a full life before they came to you. So you can't expect them to completely mesh with everything that you want or what's going on in your life. There's going to be difficulty and there are going to be obstacles, and that's okay. It all depends on how you deal with them. And that's when balance is huge. Huge. You have to understand that what you expect from somebody else, you have to be ready to give that as well. If you want to feel safe, if you want to feel loved so that you can be happy and you can be wonderful in the relationship, you also have to give to that person the same love and safety and security so that they can in turn become that same joyful person that you want to be in a relationship with. All right, so let's look at the oracle cards. We have memories of love. We have patience. You're able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. And that's what I was just saying. You have to have patience, and you have to let people do things as they want to. Your happiness and your niceness and your love shouldn't depend on someone else being like you want them to be. You have to be patient. You have to nurture. You have to compromise. All those things are natural in a relationship and is something that takes time and it takes work, but it's well worth it. And when I say compromise and having patience, I mean in a healthy, functional relationship. That's all I'm talking about. I am not speaking about any relationships that compromise who you are, your beliefs, your safety, your health, none of that. If that is in the picture, then you know that relationship is a write-off. But I'm talking about in a healthy relationship, you need to practice patience. You need to understand that they have their way of doing things, as do you, and they need to feel as secure in the relationship to be happy as you do. Hence the giving and the receiving. That's, I keep coming back. You see the scales here. This man is carrying the scales. It talks about balance. It talks about, appreciating in a true relationship that it's not always going to be perfect. It's also going to be a little bit rough, but it depends on how you deal with it and how you cope with it. And is the relationship worth your time? Is it worth it for you to work on these things and say, okay, maybe my ego was a little hurt. Maybe my feelings were hurt. Maybe I didn't like the way that person acted, but maybe I should be patient with them and have a conversation about it instead of flying off the handle and saying, okay, I'm done with this relationship. You don't understand me, and be out. Maybe if you stay and you communicate, then have an exchange, a proper exchange of feelings and emotions, and hear your side and hear their side, then it will become more of a functional situation. And that's not just in relationships either. That's also in friendships too. So this stuff also applies to friendships. Here we have peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. Yes. So you do recognize that to be happy and to be wonderful in a relationship, you could be the best partner in a relationship or a friendship. You understand that you have certain needs to be met in a relationship for you to be a wonderful counterpart. However, you also need to understand that they also need that from you too. So we're not just worrying about our needs and wants, we have to worry about theirs as well. But that being said, when you are in a relationship, patience and peacefulness are you. When you are in a functional relationship, that's all you care about, and that's a wonderful thing. You're not looking elsewhere. You're not saying you want more excitement. Once those needs of yours are being met, you're wonderful in a relationship. So this is not to get down on you. This is just telling you maybe this is what you can improve on in a relationship or a friendship to help things move a little more smoothly. This next card says tolerance. You appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. So there you go. You need to be a little bit more tolerant of the person that you're with in a relationship to understand that, or maybe you are already tolerant and they're telling you that this is your strength, actually. You need to just make sure that yes, that is your strength, being tolerant of other people. You need to give people a chance to be tolerant of you. That comes back to the patience. You don't want to rush anything. You need to take your time. Like this card here, the Knight of Wands, does not look patient. This person does not look patient in the least. They look like they're full throttle ahead. But really and truly, we're trying to get to this, which is the Six of Pentacles. In a sense, it shows patience, it shows understanding, having a conversation. And also in this Six of Pentacles, something I also get is kind of a feeling of superiority because you're a happy-go-lucky type of person who's open and vulnerable in a relationship. And you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're faithful, you're like a perfect spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend or friend. It doesn't mean that you're superior to anybody else that you're in the relationship with. So even though they may be not at your level yet, when it comes to expressing yourself and going gung-ho into a relationship, if it's a relationship that is worth it to you, you should employ this patience that we're talking about. Understand them and understand that they need time maybe, or communication, or they need some patience from you to kind of get to that point, that same level that you're on. We have Dream Traveler. We have the Dream Traveler. Sorry, I didn't show you guys. We have the Phoenix, which speaks about resurrection. Surrender to change. Exactly. So surrendering to change is important. As you can see here, we have the Phoenix, and the Phoenix is the story about the bird that rises from the ashes. So it has a lot to do with fire. It's a very fiery, hot, passionate energy that we get from this reading. And that's the type of person you are in a relationship. Fiery, hot, passionate. I mean, when we hear the card Dream Traveler, it makes me think of you. Like you're in a relationship, you are a dream in a relationship because you can be patient, you're happy, you're optimistic, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and if you're comfortable, you're peaceful, you're wonderful. But what I see here in Dream Traveler, we've got the water. We've got the water. And I'm thinking to be that dream person in a relationship, instead of so much fire, sometimes we need to bring in the peacefulness and the fluidity and the softness of water. Here we have the peaceful card as well. I mean, I think that's the urging, is that, yes, that fire is wonderful, but we need to bring in the balance, and we need to bring in the water. We need to calm the heat down a little bit sometimes to let the other person get to your level. Usually when you're single, that kind of person is wonderful. You get your business done, you set goals and you achieve those goals because you've got that fire, that drive behind you. But now if you're in a relationship or a friendship, you have to understand that not everybody is at that level. So you need to be patient. If it's a relationship that you think is worth waiting on, you need to be patient with them so they can get to your level. There you go. We have a card here that says knowledge. And knowledge in this reading means that you should employ knowledge to get to know the person that you're in a relationship with, using knowledge. So like knowledge of that person, I mean, like get to know the person, figure out who they are, figure out what makes them tick, what they need in a relationship to feel safe and secure, what it will take for you to do to kind of bring them to that same energy that you have. Like if you want them to wear their heart on the sleeves, well, what needs to be present in a relationship? What are the conditions? Like what does a relationship need? Not conditions. What does a relationship need to look like for that person to get to the point that they feel like you do? So finding out about your partner is very important. Getting to know, their past experiences, negative and positive, even past relationships. I mean, there's nothing wrong with talking about it. Talking about that with a person to find out what made them happy or unhappy in a relationship is a good kind of way for you to listen and also get to know maybe what you should do and shouldn't do going forward, or maybe some things that you already do that you might want to kind of hold back on, not to make it a dysfunctional relationship. Knowledge is power, especially when you're in a relationship. You're dealing with a whole different person apart from yourself, and you want to get to know them. So that's the only way that the relationship is going to go well. This next oracle card says, Saint Germain, karma releasing, move beyond drama, create your own path and make room for good energy. There you go. Move beyond drama, and not that you're drama causing, but we all know that like with that fiery energy, the fire could be there to warm you, but it can also be there to burn and scorch you. So tone that down a bit because the fire is great. The fire is wonderful. Use it to warm your counterpart or your friend. Don't use it to burn. So it says, create your own path and make room for good energy. Once you do all of this, the good energy will come, because for the most part, you are a loving person who puts out good energy and pumps out good energy. I get the feeling from these cards that you are like a loving, happy-go-lucky type of person, but you're also the type of person that once you're scorned, you are everybody's worst nightmare. So, I mean, that's human nature. That's not so alien for people to, so hard for people to understand. But in a relationship, maybe you can tone that down and find your balance. This card says abundance. Prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks you may have. In fairyland and human land, there's enough abundance for everyone. So in this case, the abundance is love. Once you do those things, you tone it down a little bit, but you still keep true to who you are, the abundance will flow. The love will flow. The relationship will prosper. It'll be a strong, tight-knit unit that nobody can break. And that's what you want at the end of the day, right? Whether it's a friendship or a relationship, you want to know that you've got this person and they've got you too. So once you kind of do those things and tweak some little things about how you deal with the other person in a relationship, the abundance will naturally flow because that balance will be there. That emotional balance will be there. It says, trust your vibes. Thank your angels today. I choose to trust my intuition and your guidance. So this is just your spirit guides and your angels, whoever it is you resonate with, just coming in to tell you that, yes, you should trust what we're saying. You are amazing. You're a wonderful person in a relationship and out of a relationship. But if you just kind of hear what we're saying and embrace being open to change and trying something different, no matter how uncomfortable it is, because I know with this kind of fire energy here, it will be hard to kind of tone it down with this water. As you think of like cups as well, 3 of cups, it has water, it has liquid in it. So use some of that to kind of scorch, like to squash, to kind of get rid of a little bit of the heat. I'm talking about the heat that can burn, but keep the smoldering heat that can warm, keep that there. It's a fine balance, and it's something you'll have to work at, but at the end of the day, it's well worth it because you will end up benefiting from the abundance that comes. Solitude. This says higher self, and it's a number 13. So solitude. So maybe that's something you need to kind of do at this point in time. Maybe your spirit guides are telling you that solitude is what you need to embrace right now so that you can tone it down a little bit. And sometimes if we're single, we are very strong and confident in who we are because we don't have to depend on anyone. We do what we have to do. We go out, we enjoy ourselves. So it's all about you. But then when you get into a relationship, you have to kind of tone that down because in comes this other energy that you have to kind of try and balance things off with. And it's not easy. So when I see this card here that says Dream Traveler, it makes me think of solitude. As you can see, there's nobody in this picture. It's in nature. And maybe that's a good idea for you to do as well. Get out into nature and just kind of calm yourself, maybe meditate or clear your mind, deep breathing, those types of things to kind of think about how you can become a better person in your relationship. Because by yourself or single, you are amazing. You've got that fire, you've got that passion that everybody loves. But now you're in a relationship and you have to kind of tone it down just so you can balance off the other person's energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to figure out how to do it. Knowledge, conversations, patience, tolerance. If you notice, all of these words kind of give the same energy, like tolerance and patience and peacefulness. Those are things that talk about kind of toning things down a little bit. Breathing, taking time. You don't have to, rush to judgment. You don't have to rush off and not be in the relationship. You can take your time, breathe, think about it, and give the other person a chance to explain themselves or to show you who they are, if they are really genuine about the relationship like you are. But so far what I see, it is very promising. It is a very promising relationship that either you're going to get into or you are in right now. It's just a little tweak of how you deal with and cope with the other person, and you will get through, and it will be a wonderful, long-lasting relationship. Okay, I hope, everyone, that this reading kind of resonated with you and made you kind of look inside and see what you can, change and tweak about yourself. Nothing to make you feel negative about how you do things, because you're amazing. There's nothing negative here. But it's just sometimes to kind of tone it down a little bit so we can find that divine balance and create a positive relationship. Hopefully anything or something I said today resonated with you all. This is your message from your spirit guides. In any relationship you're in, friendship or a romantic one, this is a good way to head into it, and you will see wonderful results. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. For those of you who chose pile 2, you chose the green candle. And for me, the green candle symbolizes abundance. When I'm doing my spells or my incantations, I use a green candle. Talks about, gives the energy of abundance, good luck, money, joy, all of those wonderful things. So whenever you yourself are feeling a little less than abundant, you could always do some praying and burn a green candle to see you through. All right, so for your reading, again, just a reminder, this is a reading from your spirit guide or your angels, depending on who you resonate with, to kind of help you along your way in love to better your relationship or make it more strong or make you a better significant other in a relationship, or even to make you a better friend in a friendship. Okay, so I'm going to start with the tarot like I usually do. This card here, we're doing it a little differently. This black card here, this tarot card will be telling us where you can improve in a relationship. First, we're going to learn a little bit about you with the rest of these tarot cards, and we'll talk about what you can improve later on. All right, the first card is Strength. Okay. The second card is 8 of Swords, and it says, I release myself from self-inflicted binds. It's the 8 of Swords. Five of Pentacles. I'm supported and never alone. Wow. Okay. So from what I get, in a relationship, you seem to be a very strong-minded person, somebody who is capable of dealing with any situation that comes to them. If it hurts you, you can actually heal your own wounds. However you do that, you have over time employed your own strategies to heal from people treating you poorly, or just wounds that you get from things people say, or past relationships where someone may have done you dirty or hurt your heart. You are capable of actually like healing from those things. You can heal yourself from it, and you don't carry other baggage from your prior relationships or prior experiences with people into your current or your future relationships. That's huge. And you do that because you are a strong person. You have a strong mind. You have a strong makeup, and you can you know when to kind of let go of things, and you kind of know when to take them on and to actually sit and focus and, heal your own self, lick your own wounds to a certain degree. I mean, that's huge. Not everybody can do that. And you as a person, you've worked on that throughout the years, and that's how you deal with your what's the word? That's how you deal with your interactions with people. People say things that hurt. People do things that hurt. Is it always fair? No. But you're hurt at the end of the day. So you know how to gather yourself, go within, and heal yourself. You have the Five of Pentacles here that says, I am supported and I'm never alone. And the reason you probably have a lot of this strength, this inner strength to heal yourself, is because you have that feeling that you are never alone. You know that you are always supported by your spirit guides, by your angels. You must have, I just get that feeling for some reason that this group is a group that either was raised or grew up with a knowing that you are not alone. You never had that feeling like when a loved one passed on that they're just gone forever. I feel like you have the feeling that they are always around you and you're always well supported. No matter what goes on in the earthly realm, you are supported by your angels or your ancestors or your spirit guides, whoever it is you resonate with God, with the universe. But you feel like you're always supported. And it seems to be that that's where you get your strength from. It's not because negativity doesn't come to you. It comes to you like everybody else. These swords are sharp and they hurt you just like they hurt everybody else. They cut, they hurt, everything. They cause wounds for you just like everybody else. But for some reason you have that thing, that feeling, that knowing that you are not alone. So you gather strength from that, and then you can heal yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. And your spirit guides are also letting you know, yes, you are right. You are not alone. And a lot of the time when you are healing yourself from the wounds, they are right there with you. The strength that you gather, they are actually there helping you to heal yourself. So the healing process is not one that's just you and you alone. Your spirit guides are there with you. We have here, all right, so this is where you could improve in your relationships, I suppose. And that would be, all right, this is the Three of Cups. So what Spirit is trying to tell us from what I gather, like I always say, I do know the traditional meanings behind the tarot cards, but I employ my intuition when I'm doing my readings. And for this reading, well, it means the same thing in the traditional meanings as well, but the Three of Cups talks about celebration and having a good time. And from what I see here, though, is that you seem to be somebody who is very strong. And because you gather that strength from yourself and yourself alone, physically I'm talking about, yes, your spirit guides are there giving you strength, but as a person, you see there's only one person in this picture. I feel like you are somebody who gathers your strength and heals yourself alone. If something upsets you, you don't go and vent to people. You go home, you sit, you think about the situation, maybe you meditate, or you kind of talk yourself through the hurt. Here in this card, the Three of Cups, from what I get from that is that it's safe to, and what the spirits are telling you actually is that It is safe for you to, when you are hurt, to go to your friend and speak to them. It is safe to go to your spouse, your loved one, your counterpart, and speak to them. You don't always have to do everything on your own. You are used to it, yes, and it works, yes. But when you're in a relationship with someone or in a friendship, they want to know that you feel safe enough to open up to them. Because if they feel like you just are gonna, do everything on your own, and you're gonna face everything on your own, it's like you almost don't need them, they're gonna wonder, well, what am I doing in the relationship in the first place? Why am I in this friendship if this person doesn't really give a damn about me? She doesn't even need me. Why am I here? Everybody wants to be wanted. So you kind of have to, when you're in a relationship, a functioning relationship, a healthy relationship, a loving relationship, that's all we're talking about in this channel, is only positivity. If it's any other kind of relationship, that needs to go, and it doesn't apply here. But if you're in a functioning, healthy relationship that is full of healthy love, then you need to kind of understand that, yes, that strength is a wonderful thing, but there's also strength in being able to seek help and go to somebody else, your spouse, your counterpart, or your friend for help. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no weakness in that. You spend so much time, it seems, being strong for whatever reasons. I don't know if it's through childhood or if it's just the type of person you are. You spend so much time being strong within yourself and who you are, and you have a confidence about you to kind of like meet every obstacle head on, because you know that you can heal from it. It's an amazing quality to have as a person, but in a relationship, you also need to know that there is strength in having a shoulder to cry on, to venting to somebody else, having someone else as your confidant, or explaining to someone you're hurt, why you're hurt, how they hurt you. There's nothing wrong with that, because you are supported. You are supported from the spirit world anyway, and you know that. You're going into any relationship knowing that no matter what happens, you are well supported. So you don't need to worry about, okay, if I'm vulnerable with this person and I speak to them and I tell them what's going on, are they going to think I'm, weak? Are they going to leave me? Are they going to laugh at me? Worst case scenario, if they do all of those things, you're still well supported by your spirit guides and your angels. So you have nothing to worry about. This one says, okay, so we'll go to the oracle cards now. This one says, the waiting game. Can you see that? Okay, the waiting game. This one says, devotion, nature spirits. This one says, signs from heaven. Thank you, heaven, for sending me reminders of your presence. Like I just said, no matter what the outcome is of you being vulnerable and opening up and being able to go to a friend or a spouse and kind of showing your softer side or your wounded side, no matter what, you are supported by your spirit guides or your angels or whoever you resonate with. Also, in this picture, there are white feathers flowing down from heaven on this person who's sleeping. So that's a sign for you. Maybe in your toughest time, sometimes you may have noticed that there were feathers around you, white feathers especially. Those are your spirit guides telling you that they're supporting you. Even in your dreams, if you've dreamt about feathers for some reason, then that's just a little validation that you are being well supported by them in the decisions you make, and they are giving you the go-ahead that yes, it is okay to go ahead and open up to somebody else and seek help and comfort from them. You don't have to always just comfort yourself. The 2 card here, or the card that says the waiting game, it is the number 2. So the waiting game, for me, it talks about patience. As you can see here, there's roots at the bottom of this hourglass, and it takes a while, as we know, after we plant a seed for a fruit to come through, right? So for fruit to bear. So you need patience. Be patient with yourself. You don't have to go gung-ho and go all out and just start, opening up to this person and putting yourself in an uncomfortable, awkward situation. You can also just take time, be patient with yourself, And the reason it's the number 2 is because we're talking about relationships here. Be patient with yourself and also be patient with them. Don't go in, if you're going to open up to your friend and maybe step out of your comfort zone, if they're used to you being a strong, independent person, don't have any expectations where they're concerned. Let them react how they want to react, and then you go from there. But also, with their reaction, you need to have some patience as well. And they may not always react to your vulnerability the way you expect them to. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't love you or they're a horrible friend or a horrible spouse or lover. It just means you need to have some patience and work on it with them. You work on yourself and you're working on receiving their reactions to your opening up to them, because they themselves are not used to it. If you're not used to it, and if you're in a relationship already, they're not used to you being vulnerable either. Here we have manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now write it down on paper. Manifestation, step 1. All right, so here is telling you things like, pray on it. Pray on it, meditate on it. The same way you healed yourself from other wounds and you made yourself such a strong person is the same way that you can manifest more openness and more vulnerability in yourself. It's not a step down. It's you just adding another layer to who you are. Manifest it, think about it, pray on it, work it out in your mind. Whatever you did to get to this point of being such a strong person who could heal from their wounds, and you still know that you're well supported by the people who got your back up in the spirit world, is the same way you can teach yourself to be a little bit more open and a little bit more vulnerable. And that's a wonderful thing. This oracle card says expression. You are ready to manifest your thoughts and transform them into acts of love. There you go. Another manifestation we're talking about here. So it's just showing you, oh my goodness, your spirits are just showing you, the spirit world is showing you that you can do it. Manifestation is all about you bringing something into being, you bringing forth something through your actions, your thoughts, and your energy. Your spirits are telling you that yes, you are capable of doing this. We are here for you now the same way we were here for you before when you taught yourself to be so strong. You can manifest this. It's okay to let your guards down, and we all like to be strong. We all like other people to know that we're strong too, and we're not going to deal with any mess. We're not, standing for any foolishness. We all love that. That's a wonderful thing, but it's kind of hard sometimes to take that down a notch and be softer and more open to other people's help and counsel, and having a shoulder to cry on. It kind of makes us uncomfortable sometimes, but like I said, you're just adding another layer to who you are. This says freedom. You are releasing any self-imposed restrictions. Oh my God. Okay. You are releasing any self-imposed restrictions or perceived limitations through the loving energy of openness. I just said this. My goodness. This card has just been summing up everything I've been trying to say. I don't know how well I've actually conveyed this message, but this card sums it all up. Release any self-imposed restrictions, anything that you've had, you put on yourself and put into your head that you are not going to stand for this, and this because you're a strong person. You don't want to look weak. Maybe you don't want to cry in front of someone. You don't want to open up in front of someone. They're saying to release it. Just release it. It's okay to cry in front of somebody. It's okay to feel weak in front of somebody. That is fine. This talks about being open, and it gives you freedom. That openness is just sharing another side of yourself with your friend or with your lover or your spouse. That is everything in a relationship. We have here unity. You understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. So there you go. It's talking about unity. First of all, unity with your ancestors or the spirit world, those who have your back, known and unknown. You are unified with them, so they've got you. You're solid. But also unity with your friend or your spouse or the person you share love with. That is important, because once you have that feeling of unity, which brings us back to this card, the Three of Cups, I see a lot of unity there. It's three people, yes, but they're unified. They hold their cups up together, and they all are wearing different colored robes. They have different color hair. They're very different, but yet they're all unifying and agreeing on coming to the same, what word am I looking for? They're coming to the same ideas and the same point, and they're unifying, and that's what you need to do in a relationship, and that's a-okay. We have here Spirit of Air, which makes me think of communication. So communicating with your loved one is very important to kind of, even if you just want to tell them straight up, look, I'm used to being a strong person. I am not used to having to lean on you or depend on you or open up to anybody. This makes me uncomfortable, but you know what? Because I love you and I want this relationship to elevate, I'm going to do it anyway. So just be patient with me. Take time with me, please. Oh, this one is Kalima. I like this card. And it's Facing Fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Facing fear. Yes, being vulnerable makes us very nervous because it's the best way for us to get hurt. If you're vulnerable with somebody and you open up and you tell them your greatest fears or your past hurts or your insecurities, then you feel like, okay, that opens you up to them actually hurting you in the future. And that's what we're all trying to avoid, right? But sometimes it's good to just kind of say, to hell with all of that. I'm going to soar. I'm going to do it anyway. And that's when the best results come, from being uncomfortable and uncertain and feeling a little awkward. Afterwards, you'll look back and you'll be like, you know what? No matter what the outcome is, a positive outcome or a negative outcome, you'll be like, I'm glad I did it anyway. Not for them, for you. Because you're adding to who you are as a person. We have here the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth and true prosperity. I like this card. You know why? Because prosperity means so many different things to different people. Some people believe in it meaning, money and having everything you want, whatever you want to buy in life. That's prosperity, getting a good job and all those types of material things. But prosperity could also mean having a successful, wonderful relationship. That could be prosperity. Having a peaceful household, that can be prosperity. Embracing both sides of yourself, the strong side and the quote unquote weak side of yourself. That's prosperity, because when you do those things, you will become a prosperous person in every facet of your life. So that is a wonderful card. It's encouraging you that yes, you will become prosperous, and in different facets of your life as well. When you learn to embrace your vulnerability, you can become prosperous in many, many different ways. But since this is a love reading, we'll talk about in a relationship. The relationship becomes more prosperous because the person feels comfortable around you because you're comfortable around them. Simple. All right, so another way we have prayers. We also had a card here is devotion. So I'm thinking a lot of you have become this strong, wonderful, secure person that you are today through prayer. And either it's, you get your strength from your ancestors, the spirit world, or maybe God, who you identify with, and that's where you gather your strength from. But keep going in and keep looking again to find that softer side of yourself and the side that's brave enough to kind of open up to people who you care about and who you feel safe with, to let them know that you're not always this pillar of strength. There's a different side of you that needs to be nurtured and needs to feel secure and maybe, held. You need to cry sometimes, and you need to feel safe enough around people you love to be able to do that. So all in all, this was a great reading though, but the spirit world is just telling you, you are 110% supported by them to move on to this next level of yourself, which is just to kind of embrace your vulnerability. I wish you all the best. I hope something I said today resonated with you. Until next time. Bye. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in again. All right, let's get down to it. I don't want to hold you up too long. For those of you who chose pile 3, that is the orange candle. For me, orange candles, when I'm doing my incantations or my spell work, orange candles usually signify ambition, movement, action, getting things done. It makes me think of fire. It gives me that kind of energy with regards to kind of achieving things. So in times when you're feeling kind of like you don't have a lot of energy and things are kind of at a standstill and you're not achieving your goals the way you want to, a good thing to do is say a prayer or an incantation, affirmations, while burning an orange candle or wearing orange clothing, that type of stuff. All right, so we're gonna do the usual. We are going to start with the tarot deck first, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, and this card is going to tell us what you need to work on in your relationship, and that is from the spirit world. They will be telling you, yes, you are wonderful in a relationship, because it's only positivity we deal with on this channel, but there are certain things that you could do to kind of tweak the way you behave in a relationship to make it a more prosperous one. And I said this was a love reading. Yes, it is a love reading for a friendship, also a romantic relationship. Okay? All right, let's get started. Okay. We've got the Empress. I mean, you can't get more loving than that. We've got the Empress. This is nice. I'm getting, oh my gosh, as I'm reading this, I'm getting little butterflies in my stomach. And usually the Empress, from what I remember, yes, she's pregnant in a lot of the tarot cards. So we have like, let's loving feeling. She looks like she's at peace. She's wonderful. I literally got butterflies in my stomach area when I picked up this card. Are any of you pregnant by any chance? Anyway, that's just a little feeling that I got to say. That's totally aside from this reading, but anyway. Okay, so this card says, I'm sure, this is the King of Pentacles. It says, I am sure of my place in the world. And then you have the Page of Wands. I am always open to good news. All right. So yeah, so from this so far, how you are in a relationship right now, I see the spirit world is kind of telling you that you've got it going on in a relationship and a friendship. You are a good relationship, You are good in a romantic relationship, as well as you are good in a friendship, a platonic relationship. You're always open to good news. Like you're like, look at this card. It's yellow. It's like the sunshine. It's bright. It's optimistic. It's warm. It's like, you know, you're looking at the future with optimism, and there's nothing negative there. No jaded or negative, no jaded energy or negative feelings that come along with this card. The same thing that goes with the Empress. Like, it's only peace and love in these pictures and these cards. And then you have the King of Pentacles here. Pentacles meaning very earthly things like money and jobs and those types of things that we can experience with our five senses. So what I'm getting here from this, when I see these two, like when I see a card that shows very feminine energy and very gentle energy like the Empress, and then I see the King of Pentacles, which is very hard, earthly, kind of confident, secure and logical energy, I think balance. So from my understanding, your spirit guides are trying to say that in a relationship and a friendship, you are a ray of sunshine and you're loving, but you can also be tough. You don't stand for any foolishness. You're not a doormat, but yet you also know when it's time to be there for your spouse, your counterpart, or your friend. They know they can come to you 110%. If they're in an issue, you are the one who's going to see things with the cup half full, right? You breathe life into the relationship. I just literally heard that. I don't even know why I said it, but I did. And it just made me think of this card, the Empress, who most of the time she is pregnant in this card. You give life. You give a different kind of life to the relationship. It's just like almost like a childlike type of, and this is like you don't fear getting hurt. And that's on that side of the, like you have two sides. So on that side of the coin, it's like you're loving, you're childlike, you're innocent, you don't fear getting hurt. You just look to the next endeavor with you know, love and open wide eyes and optimism. But then on the other side now, you also have this side of you, which is somebody who's not going to take any crap from anyone. So even though you're in a relationship and you love this person wholeheartedly, you breathe life into the relationship, maybe you are very caring towards them and openly loving towards them, you're not going to take any mess from them either. So they know that. They know what you're about, and that's a real cool thing. That's a strong person there. All right, so now we're going to look at this tarot card that your spirit guides are telling you need to work on in a relationship. Okay, we have the Emperor card. All right, so I see what's going on here. So in the first two cards that we have here, we have the Empress and we have the Page of Wands. We think of love and fluidity and childlike innocence, being open to good news, being joyful, being happy, all those types of things. But when you, with the King of Pentacles now, when this part comes in, the balance is there, but it's not 100% there. I'm coming to see that that's what these cards are meaning. They're saying that you need to bring forth a little bit more of this masculine energy, a little bit more of the rigid kind of, let me see, how can I say this? You need to be a little bit more strong in the relationship. Loving, caring, kind, and all of those things are wonderful in a relationship. But yes, you do have that balance, but you need to put it on a little more. Because what I'm getting is that when you're in a relationship, yes, you are balanced, but you lean more to the feminine thing. Like you are very accommodating, maybe too accommodating. So they're saying to you that maybe you need to employ a little bit more of this Emperor energy and put down a little more rules and regulations for the person you're with. Because sometimes when people see you as being this type of person who's always optimistic and positive and loving and gentle, they may see it as an opportunity to take advantage. And I'm thinking maybe the King of Pentacles, the balance is there, but maybe you are that way with everybody else. You're balanced and in other situations other than a love situation. So the person you're with maybe notices that, and they can really enjoy that, and they embrace that, and they love that about you, that you're balanced maybe in your work, your ways of work, because this is Pentacles. So let's say in your workplace, you're very balanced, you don't take any mess. But maybe when it comes to a relationship, you need to have more of this, because these are like two kings, right? You need to employ a little bit more of that into the relationship, not just on the outside world, on the inside world. Okay, so here we have the Light card. These are the Oracle cards now. There's the Light card, number 19, and I mean, check these two cards together, right? We've got light, brightness, sun, a lot of yellow, which means joy, optimism, happiness, happy-go-lucky, those types of things. That is the type of person you are in a relationship. That is being confirmed right now from your spirit guides or your spirit team, whoever you resonate with, and that is a wonderful thing. They're enjoying that about you. They're saying to keep flowing with that in your relationship. This is an interesting card. Okay, we also have the Death card here. It says Guardian Angels. Okay, let's learn a little bit more about that. It's also orange, just like the candle. All right, I think what I'm getting with the Death card, it just came to me, is that like the Emperor, death can talk about change and like the end of something, and you saying, okay, enough is enough. Maybe because you're such a light and an optimistic and positive person, you don't know when to say enough is enough. Like I was saying, kind of alluding to earlier, was that there's a lot of the feminine, softer, gentle side to you in a relationship when you're feeling secure and happy and fulfilled. But maybe you need to know when to kind of say either enough is enough and this relationship needs to end because I'm not getting the same thing back from you that I'm giving to you. Or you just need to tell them, okay, that behavior that you're doing, it's enough of that. Stop taking me for granted. I'm not, a doormat. I'm not weak. It's just I really care about you, and that is how I treat people in a relationship that I really care about. But that behavior that you're, sending my way, you need to change it or the relationship is going to end. So that's what I'm thinking. You are a light in the relationship. You are gentle, you're loving, you're caring, and you'll do just about anything for the people you care about. But I think the spirit world is telling you, you also need to bring in a little more of that masculine energy and not be afraid to say, okay, enough is enough. I'm done with this relationship. I'm out. Or I'm done with that behavior. You need to correct it. We have here, this oracle card says you're able to feel a loving, balanced connection with everything. So balance, yeah. They're saying that you need to be a little bit more balanced in your relationships. And it's funny because I see you as a balanced person outside of a relationship. Probably because you have to be, like at your work, you have to be strong. You have to be, you have to be soft and strong. You have to be balanced. You have to know when to say, okay, enough is enough. No, I'm not accepting that deal. I want a higher pay, or I'm leaving, that type of thing. But when it comes to the home life, because you really care about it and it's matters of the heart, you take a little bit more than you should. And the spirit world, your spirit guides are what I'm hearing. Anyway, whether you resonate with them or not, that term or not, they're tired of watching you kind of, not tired of it, sorry. They are hurt by watching you taking too much and not knowing when to say enough is enough. This card says forgiveness. You are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. So they're telling you to forgive yourself from times before when you took too much mess, when you didn't get out of a relationship fast enough, when you, compromised yourself a little bit more than you should have because you thought you really loved this person and you thought that they loved you too. But yes, you did really love the person, but did they love you the way that you deserve to be loved? If the answer is no, then you need to forgive yourself for staying longer in that negative situation than you should have. And the spirit world is telling you there's no shame in that. They are still here for you regardless. There's no judgment. You just need to learn better next time. Once you know better, you do better, right? All right, so this says responsibility. Same type of thing. You're aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express. So responsibility, yeah, is the same thing, like just forgiving yourself for taking too much nonsense from people who didn't deserve it in the past, and maybe being a little bit of a pushover because you had strong feelings for this person. There's no harm in that. That's their bad, not yours. But yet you need to forgive yourself for kind of sticking around too long and maybe compromising some of who you are to please them and for their benefit. Those times are done. Now they're telling you in your future relationships, or if you're in a relationship now, that you need to stand up for yourself and start saying no. Start saying enough. I don't like that. No more of that. That doesn't serve me. No. What about my desires? Yes, I love you and I care about you. I'll do anything you want me to do. But what about me? What are you going to do for me? That's important in a relationship. That's balance. All right. You have the sacred union, partnership and romance. Okay. We are talking about a relationship. So boom, we got that. Sacred union. And that just shows that once you finally do that and you stand up for yourself, the person will take you more seriously. Most of the time they're not going to say, okay, well, I'm out. You don't want to be a doormat for me anymore. Okay, I'm out of this relationship. More times they'll take you more seriously and they'll respect you more. You'll get more out of the relationship if you teach people how to treat you and how you want to be treated. We have this card here that says divinity. So divinity, we're talking about, the spiritual realm. So that's just showing that, yes, you are being divinely guided. You're not being difficult or disagreeable or anything like that. You are being divinely guided to stand up for yourself. You need that in a relationship to make the relationship work. We have here the circle of life. All right, that goes back to the death card, which tells you like there's a cycle. The relationship begins, but it can also end. Nothing stays the same. That's the only constant in life, right? Is that nothing. Change is the only constant in life. So there is a cycle that goes on. There's a beginning and there's a middle and there's an end, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't try and fight it. If it's not serving you, cut. All right. This one says, ask for help. Angels are celestial beings who protect everyone, and their fairies say now is the time for you to ask for angelic assistance. Beautiful. So they're also telling you that you can ask them for help. Like, you don't have to do all of this on your own. You can ask people for help too. Your angels, your earthly angels, your good friends or your family who you can, go to, who are your confidants, and you can say, listen, I'm in a relationship and this person did XYZ. What do you think? Am I dumb to stay with them, or should I leave? What do you think? Someone who you trust, who has your best interests in mind, you could always go to them and ask them. Seeking assistance is a wonderful thing. Using the people around you to help get some clarity, because they're watching from the outside in, so they can be more clear on what's going on. There's nothing wrong with that, and it will probably serve you very well. We have Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire and set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Love it. Love it. We also have the miracle of forgiveness. Archangel Jeremiel. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. Thank you for helping me understand the process of forgiveness. Oh my God, we have 2 forgiveness cards here. First of all, let's talk about that. We have 2 forgiveness cards. I can't even pick this one up. All right. 2 forgiveness cards saying that you need to be forgiving. You need to be gentle with yourself. That same love and light and unconditional. Sorry guys, my battery ran out. Okay, so what I was saying was, yes, you need to be able to forgive yourself for not getting out or not putting your foot down when you should have. It's never too late. And the last card to sum up this whole reading, which is wonderful. I love this card. It's Diana. Focus your intention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, and expect the best possible outcome. It's exactly what I was saying. Focus on what you want out of the relationship, set your sights high, and make people, respect you and give you what it is you want from the relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having standards. And if someone can't handle it and they don't like it and they feel like you're being too difficult or too demanding or too high maintenance for them, then okay, well, it's good that they leave then, because you have to have standards. You can't just keep giving to a relationship and not getting anything in return. That is not how relationships work. At the beginning of this reading, we spoke about balance, and that is the same thing that everybody wants from a relationship. They want balance. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of or taken for granted. So this card is telling you, expect the best possible outcome. Sometimes in a relationship, the best possible outcome is the relationship coming to an end. Hence this death card here. And that's what the spirit world wants you to know. Sometimes the best thing for you is to say, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'm out. And there's nothing wrong with that. So the spirit world is trying to remind you that you have standards and you need to hold true to your standards and hold them high, because you deserve it, because you're wonderful in a relationship. As we saw at the beginning of the reading, all this joy and love, the Empress card, we have a very loving person who is full of joy and optimism. You are a wonderful person in a relationship, and they need to know that as well. They also need to be as wonderful to you as you are to them. And you need to recognize that when someone is not treating you the way you want to be treated, it's time for the relationship to come to an end. Death is, yes, it is the end of a situation, but it's also the beginning of a beautiful, bright, new outcome. Okay, so don't be scared of the outcomes. Like they said, expect the best possible outcome. So always ask your spirit guides. They're urging you to ask them, like they said, ask for help. In situations where you're uncertain, sometimes you can just say to them, spirit guides, God, ancestors, I'm uncertain of how to proceed in this situation. Please be with me and make sure that whatever comes of it, it is the best possible outcome for me and for my heart. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope something resonated with you. Those are the messages I got today from the spirit world for you when it comes to strong friendships or relationships. Okay, until I see you next time. Bye. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. For those of you who chose group number 4, the last group, you chose the white candle. For me, when I'm doing my spell work or my affirmations, my incantations, those types of things, white candles for me are usually about peace, asking for serenity, a little quietude, that kind of thing, purity. Times when I'm feeling a little muddled or a little bit like I have like a little bit of a negative energy around me, I usually use a white candle to kind of clear me of those things and to get in touch with my ancestors and my guides. Okay, so today our reading is about a message from the spirit world. So that's your spirit guides, your ancestors, God, anybody who you call upon in times of need. It's their message to you with regards to love, how you are in a good friendship or in a relationship. Because I put good friendship in there because, you know, you can be in a friendship with somebody who you love and would do anything for. You know, it's not, doesn't just have to be about a romantic relationship. So let's get started. The way we're going to do it this time is, these are the tarot cards. We're starting with the tarot cards. This talks about you in a relationship in a positive way, when you're feeling fulfilled, when you're doing everything right. And this tarot card is what the spirit world wants to tell you that you need to improve on to bring your relationship to that next level. All right, so let's see what we got. We've got the Page of Cups. Good way to start. That's nice. We've got the Knight of Swords. I choose my battles carefully. We have also the Two of Wands. I focus on what I want and I make it happen. All right, so in a relationship, you seem like you got a little bit of everything there. You are full of like childlike innocence and you're open to whatever. This is talking about if you're in a positive relationship where you feel fulfilled and safe and confident, you're down for whatever. You're open to whatever, you know, the other person wants to do. You have like that, you know, at the beginning of the relationship where everything is new and you're giddy and you're laughing and you're joyful and those types of things. You're open. You don't have any negative feelings towards that person or any resentments towards that person because everything is new. That's you in a relationship. We have a bunny rabbit in here, which talks about abundance. So your love flows abundantly in a relationship. You are not somebody who withholds any love or any positive feelings towards that person when you feel secure with them. You also know how, because you don't want any conflict, it seems. You don't like conflict. So you pick and choose your battles very, very carefully because you don't want to rock the boat. You like being in this mode, in this energy of things being happy and light and airy, and you don't want to make things, you know, pull the energy down in the relationship. So you're very mindful of the battles that you choose to take your spouse, your partner, or your friend up on. Sometimes you know when to kind of let things go because it's not that important, or sometimes you know when you got to really like pull them up on what it is they're doing and how they're treating you. You also know if you want something from a relationship. First of all, we see a 11 here. These two wands look like an 11 to me, and that talks about manifestation and those types of things, making things happen. But I also see it as a 2, which it is the Two of Wands. The 2 meaning, you know, the relationship and the fire and the passion. You focus on what you want and you make it happen. So like you go for what you want in the relationship. You don't, it's kind of like the childlike energy that we get from the Page of Cups is like emotionally and even physically. Like if you want something, you will go for it. You're just like a child in the sense that you're not worried of the outcome. You don't have any fear thinking, well, what if I get rejected? What if I look stupid? Oh my God, am I going to embarrass myself? You don't think about that. If you think about a child when they're going out to achieve something, they don't usually, if they feel safe and secure, they don't usually have those questions in their mind. They just go for it, and they want this, so they go for it. They usually have tunnel vision that way. So that's you in a relationship. You're mindful of the other person's feelings, you know, not causing a ruckus, keeping things balanced. And if you want something, you will go for it. That's how you end up in a lot of your relationships that you're in. You, group 4, have probably been in a situation, time or two, this is for a few of you, where you have been the pursuer and you've gone for what you wanted. You saw the person and you liked their vibe, you thought they were attractive, and you pursued them. So I think this pile is for a lot of my pursuers, because you know what you want and you go for it. All right. Okay, so now this is the tarot card that talks about what you can improve from your spirit team, the 8 of Wands. All right, so this makes sense. The 8 of Wands, guys, talks about, well, you can look at the picture, right? You see all these wands. Just imagine them being like arrows or something flying through the air. The air is clear. There's no obstacles to stop them. They are shooting through the air, full throttle, full speed ahead, and nothing is going to stop them until they reach their goal. So remember, we spoke about that in these cards, saying that you're childlike in the sense that if you want something, you go for it, and really nothing can stop you. You don't have any inhibitions. You're not worried about the outcome. You go for it. The spirit world is kind of telling you to that can become reckless sometimes. Even though that is a beautiful thing, we still need to employ some balance and understand that that can also work against us. If you become too focused in the sense where you're just like, you have tunnel vision, when you want something, you want to achieve it, it can kind of throw the other person off, especially if they don't have that kind of energy. You can be in a relationship with somebody who's more laid back, or who does have inhibitions, who is a little bit more shy and has insecurities that you don't have, and you are ready to get it done and go for what you want, and maybe they're just kind of like, okay, hold on. That can be kind of intimidating, and that can cause them to kind of close up and not be open to you, and it won't be a prosperous relationship. If one person is out there ready to live life and embrace what's, any obstacle that comes, or has no inhibitions or anything like that, and then you have the other person who's more reserved, it won't work. It won't work because one person is being shut out. We have here the 18, shadow. Okay, shadow work. Hello. That means going within. Shadow work means when you go within and you do that work, you look at yourself and you look at the aspects of yourself that maybe you're not so proud of. You don't always want other people to see or be aware of those parts of yourself, or even you yourself don't necessarily want to deal with those parts of yourself. But the spirit world is urging you to do that. You should actually, to kind of get away from all of this kind of, speed and impulsiveness and those types of things, like above and beyond. I'm saying to kind of tone that down a bit. The only way you can do that is go within and look at what causes you to do things that way. It could be fear-based, or it could be you don't want to be hurt. Maybe sometimes you feel like if you blaze through and you let people know, look, this is how I am, I go for what I want, nothing can stop me, you feel like maybe that's discouraging people from getting in your way. So they'll just kind of, it's like you're giving them a forewarning. This is what I do, so you just stay back. Well, that's not always a positive thing, because then that may make the other person feel alienated, like they don't have a say in what's going on in your life, which they should, because if they're in a relationship with you, they're sharing their time and their space with you, right? So let's see the oracle cards here. So that's something you should do. Go within and see how you can tone that down a little bit to kind of let the other person feel safe enough to come in and share the relationship with you, experience the relationship with you, and not just feel like it's happening to them or you are happening to them. This card says compassion. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. Yeah, this is the type of person you are. Like, you're not a negative person in the least. You are compassionate, you are driven, you have passion, you have fire, energy. That can be intimidating sometimes, though. When you're in a relationship, actively sharing and living love, if it's only one-sided, it can kind of make the other person feel kind of nervous, like depending on the type of person you're dealing with. So that's a wonderful thing. You are a compassionate person. Here we have a card you see that says individuality. You leave your unique stamp on love on everything you do. You see, this is like a driven person, right? Individuality. if we look at these cards here, they're by themselves. So it almost seems like individuality is the name of your game because you're very secure in who you are as a person. So you have that confidence to go out there and get what you want. You're goal oriented, even in love. And that's a wonderful thing. But there's levels. There's levels to it, right? We don't want it to be overbearing, or we don't want it to scare anybody else away, because it can do that. The only place so far in the cards where we see somebody else in the card is the shadow card. And the somebody else in the card is you. So get to look inside and kind of see, you know, how you can maybe tone that down a little bit and slow down and pace yourself and bring the other person in. So maybe you two can shoot ahead together, but it can be kind of alienating sometimes. Empathy, you feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. So yes, you have empathy already as it is, but they're asking you to be empathetic towards the person you are in a relationship with, for you to understand that maybe they're not on the same page as you. Maybe they don't have that confidence, that urgency that you do. You have to be a super duper confident person to go for what you want in this life, especially when it comes to another person. So that's a really cool thing, but maybe they themselves are not in that place in life. So you need to be compassionate and be patient with them and understand that in a relationship, individuality is a wonderful thing, but we need to actually start to merge it into a place of unity and becoming one, two people becoming one. So keep that in mind. We talk about Krishna, devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally. You see? So they understand, your spouse, your friendship, your friend, they understand that, yes, you are devoted to them. You are loyal. You are faithful. You are wonderful in a relationship. They understand that. They recognize that in you. So even if you tone down a little bit of this go-getter way that you have, like you're ready to go, and that fiery, impulsive way that you have, they will still believe that you are still as devoted to them as you were before. So you can tame that a little bit, and they still know who you are. It says at the bottom of the card, you are loved unconditionally. They will still love you, okay? Unconditionally too. Like that's the best kind of love, is it not? You have, okay, there you go. Frequency shift. So this card is telling you, shift your frequency, man. You're going too fast ahead, like you're blazing through, and it's a beautiful thing, but you're going to burn everybody out. Like, you are a different type of person. You are a unique soul in the sense that not only do you go for what you want, but you get what you want. And you've either been that way since you were born, or certain situations have made you become that way. Like, you've taught yourself to head and look for and be goal-oriented. Go for what you want and don't stop until you get it. That's a wonderful thing, but like I said, in a relationship, it can be kind of scary. So, frequency shift. Change your frequency. Let me change what I just said. Don't change your frequency. Shift it. So still stay that same go-getter that you are, passionate person that you are. Stay that way. Just shift the frequency a little bit. Even though you're up here right now, just come down here. So it's still on the same path. It's still the same thing. You haven't changed yourself. You haven't compromised yourself. But maybe just kind of tone it down a bit and let the other person feel safe enough to come in. And maybe your passion will rub off on them and they will feel safe. And they will become that type of person too. You never know. All right. So we have this card here that says the cosmos, creativity, and vastness. So it's just kind of validating the type of person that you are. You're a creative person. Orange, we see a lot of orange in the we see a lot of orange in these cards, and yellow, and that makes me think of creativity. You're a very creative person, and I think that's how you achieve a lot of the goals that you set out to do, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. But also we have here in this picture, in this card, we have the moon. And the moon deals with our shadow self. The moon deals with things that are kind of hidden in the dark that we don't necessarily want people to know about. So the spirit world really is encouraging you to kind of get in touch with that side of yourself and think about why you do the things the way you do, or with the urgency you do, and maybe how you can go about, like I said, changing that frequency, shifting that frequency. Sorry. We have here, this card says Song of the Wild. We have Competition, Warrior Guides. And guys, I'm just laughing because this is the energy I get from this reading, is that you are a force to be reckoned with. You are somebody who knows what you have to do, and it's like amazing to watch you work. You know, like it's just like people sit back and they're like in awe of you. Those types of people, everybody wants to be with them, but actually it's kind of scary to be with them because they are a lot to handle, and it can be intimidating. That's the word. It can be very intimidating. So Competition, Warrior Guides. So we have things like Song of the Wild, this card here. Competition, Warrior Guides. You know, those types of things tell us that like you're ready. You're ready. If you think about a boxer, when he's ready for his fight, he's there, he's prepared, he's in his zone. His goal is to defeat his opponent. Like and that's you. That is your goal. Not to defeat your opponent, but to get the outcome that you are looking for. You are driven to no end. So we have this one here, Competition, Warrior Guides. Look at the colors of these cards. You have yellows, oranges, red, those types of things. It's very hot and full of light. You know, the only ones that I see here that are kind of the darker ones are really the ones that are urging you to go within and deal with the shadow, deal with the hard work, which is looking within to kind of see what has made you that kind of person, which is a wonderful person, and how can you kind of shift it or tone it down a bit to bring people in a little bit more, make people feel safe enough around you to get close to you, because you desire wonderful relationships, as we see at the beginning. Like, you choose your battles carefully, you focus on what you want. Like, you're wonderful in a relationship, you are a wonderful person, but you probably don't really realize that you can be an intimidating person in a relationship, and that causes the other person not to be able to open up to you. This says the inner voice. So this just goes back to, it says here, thank you, angels, for guiding me through my inner voice. That just goes back to, you know, the shadow work, looking within, doing the inner work that you don't necessarily always want to do because it's difficult to kind of pull back, you know, pull out all of those negative experiences or experiences that you don't really want to think about, or maybe you know that you can be intimidating and you don't really want to accept that because you like feeling like that. You like being goal-oriented. Well, this is the time to actually sit and look and see how that goal-oriented nature of yours, that fiery nature of yours, how far has it gotten you in relationships throughout your life? Has it really and truly benefited you the way you wanted it to? It's just something to think about. And the last card we have here is Light. The Fairy Queen of Light comes to shed love and light onto your current situation and to remind you that light can penetrate the darkness. Darkness, shadow work, going within, right? So once this is your spirit guides encouraging you to go within and realize that once you do that work, that little bit of shadow work, then it will help you kind of get in tune with yourself and shift that frequency, tone yourself down in a way. Do not dim yourself or change yourself in any way, shape, or form, but to kind of, the intensity is up here. The spirits are telling you to bring it a little bit down there. So the people you're in a relationship with, the people who you love the most and you love very hard and very positively and wholesomely, those people can feel safe enough that they're not going to get burned by your light. They can come in and they can embrace you and they can share life and do life with you, not just sit and watch you accomplish everything and sail through life and fly through the air like these ones are. They want to experience life with you because they love you. So if you get a chance, you should just try and maybe slow things down a little bit and tame that part of you a little bit that can be kind of wild. As we see here, we have this card that says the Song of the Wild. You can be seen as somewhat wild sometimes because your energy is ferocious. And I mean it in a positive way. Your energy is ferocious, it's hot, it's passionate, and it's like a force to be reckoned with, which is a wonderful thing from the outside looking in. But in a relationship, your spouse, your counterpart, or your friend wants to know that you're not gonna like shut them out. You're not gonna burn so bright that they can't even get anywhere near you. It just doesn't make sense for them. So that is the end of the reading. I wish you all the best in your endeavors and in your future and present relationships. I hope something I said today resonated with you. Until we see each other again, bye.